Hi there, it is Bobby Joe, Escallion Properties. Today I have a special guest with me, Miss Tracy Skinner, who happens to be a preferred lender. If you are new in the home buying process, you might wonder, what is a preferred lender? Well, in real estate, when I find someone that I can work with, that I trust, that treats my clients great, and really gets their job done, they become a preferred lender. Or a preferred partner, I guess, in any industry. And Tracy has more than earned my trust over the years. And so when I refer you to her, it's not because she gives me a cutback. It's not because I get any gain from it, except for her taking just as good of care of my clients as I would, if not better. So welcome, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
We wanted to talk today just about a few stories that we've had over the years and circumstances where we were a power team, and together we really made a difference in our clients' lives. I'd like to start with the kids. We call them the kids because they were a referral of clients' children to us. And through the whole process, we called them our kids.
Yep.
And they were a referral to you, and you called on me. So I'm actually your preferred referral partner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So first, you brought these kids to me. They were in their mid-20s, young professionals, and they were buying their first home, living in mom's basement at the time.
Yep.
And for one, they were phenomenal people to work with. So thank you so much for the referral.
Yeah.
And they were well qualified too. I felt like I mean, they weren't at the bottom of the barrel. Like, they weren't just skimping in. Like, they could afford a decent home. They didn't have to start with something really stinky, I like to say.
Yeah.
And when we were out shopping for homes, they first happened to fall in love with a mobile home that was in a park where they owned the land, but it was a mobile home park per se. And the first step was we had to call Tracy to make sure, is this something we actually can do with their loan? And lo and behold, they could.
Mm-hmm.
And so we put in an offer. The first step was for us to do an inspection, which there's nothing too major on the inspection. And then the next step when you own a mobile home is the
financing.
Yes, and on the financing, you ordered the inspection of the foundation.
So foundation inspection, there's a HUD, and then also to make sure that the tags are there, and an engineer's cert is done.
And that's why is that important for the lender to have the foundation report done? And what does it mean if you have a mobile home? What does it mean to have a foundation?
When the foundation is inspected, it's inspected to make sure that, first of all, it complies with all of HUD's regulations, but it also is to ensure that it's never been moved.
Okay.
So it was constructed. The marriage line has not been broken. So it sits on the site where it was originally brought to and built. And that makes a big difference to make it compliant with HUD.
Which is important to not just for the purchase side, but for resale, because if these when they buy the home, when they go to resell, it's not going to be their forever home probably.
Right.
We want to make sure that it is lendable for them to go and resell again.
Yeah, so they don't have a real hassle. And, at that point, if you have a non-compliant property like that, your only options are a cash buyer or a hard money lender. And that's a tough position to be in. It's a tough position to put a first-time home buyer in a situation like that. It used to be that there were some that was not required for all manufactured homes. But now, all finance types follow that. VA was the last to jump on board. You used to be able to kind of get around that with VA lending, but they also now require the full foundation inspection, engineer certification, make sure it has all the HUD tags and everything like that. So, yeah.
And these are not things that are important for you to remember all these steps. We're here to help guide you through this process, but we just wanted to talk you through the steps.
Yeah.
So on that particular one, when we did the foundation report, you called me and said, hey, it didn't pass the foundation report. And at that point, too, because of the contractual aspects of it, that was our out to get out of the contract if we wanted to. And at that time, the seller was also giving us a little bit of resistance on if they were going to fix it. They were dragging their feet on their response time. And so we were advising the clients to get out of the contract so we could protect their earnest money. And the other agent was really pushing us back. And contractually in that scenario, I knew if I had to help my clients go to court, they would win in this perspective. perspective or in this scenario, but it would cost them time and money. So I had to keep nudging that other agent and nudging him. And I actually had to write some letters and lengthy emails, phone calls. And then finally they did sign the addendum where we could get our earnest money back. Typically it's not that hard to get your earnest money back.
It was a bit of a struggle.
It was a big struggle. Yeah. But then we were back out into the looking field. And so we started looking at more properties. And we probably in one day had looked at maybe 7 or 8 homes. And we're kind of getting desperate because we really weren't finding anything that was giving them the warm and fuzzies. And so I was looking on my phone and I noticed there was some new construction just out of the area they were wanting to look in. And so I'm like, hey, you want to go check out this new construction? And they did. And when we were walking around the new construction with the site agent, they had found a home that they liked. So we called you and gave you the information for the numbers. Yeah. It was below their price point. It was a stick-built house. So they felt pretty comfortable in doing a one-page offer with the agent. So I sat down at a desk in the lobby with the clients and the site agent, and we're going through this one-page contract, and I'm guiding them through the process. And then afterwards, we get in the car and we're driving home. And they were in their own car at that time. And the site agent calls me and told me, oh, by the way, the house that they chose does not give any commission because it closes after 30 days. So because they have their own lender who has already had them pre-qualified and underwritten approved, yep, that we cannot give them any closing costs nor pay you any commission. But if they choose to use our on-site lender, then we can give them a $5,000 credit and they can choose to pay you with that credit. And I just remember driving like, so you're telling me this after the fact? Like you're telling me after we're not in front of the clients anymore? Like that doesn't seem correct. Like you should have told me that while we're at the table negotiating. And then also you're trying to push them out from their lender who has spent 3 or 4 months getting them pre-approved and underwritten approved, which is a kind of a big deal. So, but they did seem to love the house. So I called Tracy and I told you the scenario and I'm like, you know what? They really like the house. I'm willing to back out and just make sure that they're still being represented by you, and they can move forward buying the home, and you guys can call me with any questions. And you were like, no, but heck no.
Yeah. No way. No way. And if we think back to, and I think you were just trying to really help them get the house they wanted, and you knew they really loved it. And something about this whole situation just seemed really off to me. I couldn't really put my finger on it. I remember, I think it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday night. I had my laptop. I'm just sitting there with my animals around me, and I thought, what is going on? And so I just started to kind of Google. Right? Because I couldn't find the property. There was a couple things that just kept coming up. And then you're thinking, I'm going to back out of this and then let them so that they can get the house and we don't have to fight with them about it. And I said, wait a minute, Bobby Joe, let's think back to that last transaction, right? Where would they be had they not had your representation on that deal? They may not have gotten their earnest money back. We know they had a contractual right to it. Would they have gone all the way through court? No. And if they had, it would have cost them a whole lot of time and money. So having you there as a representative for them, and especially what I was finding out as I was Googling things about this particular builder, I was like, no way are we entering into this deal without both of us there for them. I mean, they really needed it. And I uncovered a lot of stuff about, and it's kind of traditional for builders to offer incentives for people to either use their realtor or use their preferred lender. That's kind of common in this industry. But in this particular case, doing some investigating on their reviews and their history and their standards were not quite where we needed it to be.
And I'm laughing right now because I was driving home and I had the conversation with you. But when I'm pulling into my driveway, you're calling back with all these statistics and these the consumer reporting and like the bad reports, and I didn't even have a chance to Google any of it yet. And you're like, no, but heck no. Well, I'm not letting these clients get into that. And so I remember we put it in their laps. We gave them all the information and said, this is what we found out. These are our options. And at this point, you guys need to choose if you want to move forward with them without us representing you, or would you rather find something different? And hands down, it wasn't even a choice.
Just the next day. day, the next morning, they just sent more houses that they wanted to go look at. It was just like they were done.
Yeah.
They just, once they had that information, they were done.
And for those kids, the third try was the charm, because the third house they found was a great 2-story house, nice neighborhood, and it all was just perfectly smooth and normal as it should be. And I look forward to helping them find their next home.
Yeah.
Yes. What a good story. But that's just an example of having representation for you. And when we're talking about working with builders, a lot of times builders will say that you can waive your inspection, or people will think if you use the site agent, you'll get a discount. And I would just like to inform everyone that's not always the case. I would say I've never seen a builder give a discount because you're not using your own agent. And it's really important to have your own representation for scenarios like this, because things always do come up. And I highly recommend you to always have a home inspection done, even on new construction. And the beautiful thing about new construction is they all have to come with some type of warranty. And so on the inspection, if you find anything, you literally just give them this list of to-do list, and they take care of it before closing. And before closing, you have all the power. After closing, your power really diminishes. So that's one reason I really encourage you to do the home inspection, even on new construction. It's definitely worth your money.
For sure.
So that's just a little 10 cents. And if you guys would like to have other preferred partners or want some resources, please do reach out. We would be glad to put you in line with the right person.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.